Hey friend, my name is Bryce Henson, CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp and one of your co-hosts here at the Fit Body Inside Look. Now this show is for our franchise partners and for those who are interested in joining our brand, where we execute meaningful interviews with our franchise partners, internal HQ team, coaches and clients to be able to provide you more insight and to get more acquainted with our brand and also to showcase the business opportunity available. Thanks so much and enjoy the episode. Hey friends, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Fit Body Inside Look, and I'm here with my two dear friends, both James and Liz Swift in Rancho, Cordova, which is a suburb of Sacramento here in Northern California, at their location. Just got an awesome workout in this morning. Got on Fox 2 News yesterday, Fox 40 News, yesterday here in Sacramento, shooting an awesome exhibit for the Fit Body Freedom Week, which is launching in April of 2024. So pumped at that. We feature them both on two separate segments, and now after a workout, we're just sitting down with them to give you and our audience an inside look of who they are as people, as franchise partners. So James and Liz, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Let's go. All right, so I just kind of give you a little bit overview, but straightforward. What do you do, and then really, how did you get to do what you're doing?
I'll let you start.
Oh, really?
Ladies
Thank
first.
You.
Ladies
Thank
first.
you. Co-owner of Rancho, Cordova Fit Body Bootcamp. I'm also co-facility integrator. I'm also one of the coaches on the mat. So
Brought the fire this morning.
Thank
Both of you
you.
two, actually, for
Thank
that matter.
you. My voice is almost gone.
Cool.
That's a testament. That means that we're doing good work,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
My name's James Swift. I am a co-owner of Rancho Cordova Fit Body Bootcamp. We'll say also a co-facility integrator, visionary for our location, and also a coach and head nutrition coach.
Heck yeah. We'll talk a little bit about your operations in kind of present day. Before we do, just want to kind of take a step back. Before you got into fitness, before you launched your first Fit Body, how did you meet first and foremost? Let's talk about like the personality perspective, humanize you a bit.
Do you want to tell the story? There's always two sides,
Yes,
right?
there is. Yes, there is.
Yeah,
So we met at Wells Fargo Bank. We were both tellers. And actually, I was pregnant with my firstborn.
Oh, wow.
We were really good friends. We kept in touch. And he actually talked me into like staying with my ex-husband. And then that didn't work out. So
Oh, wow.
I'm like, hey. Afterwards, we were really good friends, though.
Yeah. I mean,
So what's your side of the story, Mr. Swift?
I mean, so I walked in, and obviously the sun was shining, and it was love at first sight for her immediately. No, but no, I remember walking in, and she had this friendly, bubbly personality, and just she caught my attention. At the time, we were both, she was married, I was dating somebody, and so we were just coworkers. But we always just kind of got along and had tons of fun. She would eat all of my Taco Bell, so I would walk in.
Sign of affection.
And I'd be bringing in food, and back then I went to Taco Bell 4 times a day.
Well, you and me both, my friend. That's my backstory, so kindred spirits here.
Yeah, and so I'd walk in, she'd always be like, "What are you eating?" And then she would take some of my food, which was fine. I was happy to share it.
Nice. So you guys work together. I didn't actually know that. This is awesome. I love the show. I love the podcast. I love extracting business knowledge, but also just friendship knowledge as well. How long did you guys work together before you took the leap and started dating?
I want to say a year or two we worked together as bank tellers.
Okay.
And then we started dating. Gosh, my mind went blank. I'm so sorry.
So we're going to be celebrating our 16th year anniversary, marriage anniversary.
Congrats.
So about 18 years ago,
18 years.
we started dating.
Yeah.
So we're shooting this here in 2024. So this is like 2006-ish?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. When you
Yeah.
guys first met.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
congrats.
Yeah, we just kind of kept in touch, and I remember she invited me to pizza, or maybe I invited her to pizza. I can't remember.
It was sushi.
No, that was after.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so
Taco Bell, pizza, a lot of like pre-fit body things. we're talking about right now.
yeah, that was trying to outwork the bad diet
Yes.
stage
Yeah,
of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went clubbing, we went dancing, and then, yeah, the sushi after the pizza. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember now.
There we go. Cool. Well, let's transition. You guys, connected, and I'm curious how long you worked in the banking industry, and then kind of talk us to, how you learned about Fit Body, how you got inspired for fitness. How did that all come to be?
Yeah, I mean, I worked in the banking industry for about almost 20 years. So
Wow.
9 years with Wells Fargo, and then I moved over to Charles Schwab, and I did investments with Charles Schwab for about 9 years. And, for me, I had reached a stage in my career where I just wasn't happy. And I was kind of asking myself, like, am I really going to do this for like another 20 years? It was just a really scary thought.
Yeah.
Because I was unhappy. I just didn't feel like I was in my place. But I was doing it because I was good at it. And
You're like outside world successful, right? Like if you looked at you from the outside lens, like you're a successful guy, but what I'm hearing is you weren't fulfilled.
I lacked fulfillment 100%. It was just you dragging yourself out of bed, and back then I was, smoking a lot of weed. I was drinking a lot of alcohol to try to mask through a lot of the unhappiness that I was feeling, or the lack of fulfillment.
Yep.
And I just felt like, God, like I can't do this the rest of my life. Like this can't be it. Like I was happy with the family. We had 2 wonderful kids, but it was, I was just every day, 40 hours, 50 hours a week, just walking into a place where I couldn't wait to leave.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was something wrong. And so, so I started digging into like opening our own gym.
At this time, were you like fit, or had you started that journey yet?
I was still fit. I still went to the gym on my lunch every single day.
So that was like
just
a
kind
staple
one
of your
those
background.
It was a staple,
Okay.
yeah. And I really I loved helping people. I was writing programming for coworkers. I was helping them with nutrition. I would, a lot of the investment conversations would turn into nutrition and health conversations because, we saw a lot of people that were doing a really good job saving money, and they were dying before they ever got to use all that savings, and it was really an issue. And so
That's an interesting perspective you had. Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, one day I pitched it to Liz. I said, after searching a few different places and different franchises, I was like, I've never worked in the gym. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I need a franchise. I need a framework. Mm-hmm. And if you give me a framework, I can follow a framework, but I didn't know where to start. And so that's when I found B, and I found Fit Body. And after dating a couple franchises, I'll say the one franchise, they didn't call me on time. Sometimes they didn't call me at all. And this was all when they were trying to get our money. And I was like,
We're not talking about Fit Body. We're talking about another
we're talking
franchise
about a
you're
different
recording.
franchise. And
You're thinking, sorry to interject, but if they're not responding my phone calls in the onboarding courting phase, when I invest the money and need support, what's that going to look like?
what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
You got it. And Fit Body, they called me on time. They were super helpful. Send me follow-up texts, with testimonials, and, just really gave me all the support that I needed to feel comfortable. And so one day I pitched the idea to Liz, and I'll let her take it from there.
Yeah, Liz, let's go. What did that conversation look like?
Oh, it was very. You want me to take this?
Yeah.
I was in shock, and it was very scary because it's something outside. Let's be honest, outside both of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right.
Were you still working together at this time, or had you shifted?
No. I actually went into like the project management side of things with, I bounced back and forth between different consulting firms.
Okay.
And at this time I was employed with JLL, Jones Lang LaSalle, and I was a contracted employee through Verizon
Okay.
on the project management side. And I was he pitched it to me. I was nervous, and he's such a research whore. Sorry if I could say that, but he just
Well, you just did. So it's okay.
he like loves his research, and he presented everything to me, and I said, why not? Let's do it. I mean, if this is what you want to do, I support you. We're in the right. At that time, I was making good money, enough for me to support everybody, and I'm like, let's do it. It's going to be scary.
Let me interject. Was your initial thought, okay, in shock and awe, but then, hey, let's do it? Or did you need some time, some weeks, some months? Okay.
I needed time.
And that's okay. That's part of the story, and I think it's important for our audience to know that, right?
Yeah, I needed time because there's a lot of scary factors in there, right? I'm taking on the medical insurance. What if, like all the what ifs? What if it fails? What if it ruins us financially? What if it doesn't? Like, what if our marriage doesn't work out? Right? There was a lot of what ifs, but at the end of the day, it wasn't fulfilling. Whatever he was doing wasn't fulfilling him.
And do you think his approach, from your perspective, certainly like there was shock and awe, just because it's a big shift, right? But would you say James, at least from what you remember, presented the information, you felt confident that he'd done his research and at least had a good plan in place?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So good on James for you to come very prepared from that perspective. So from you, it didn't look like a faulty, particular idea or not well thought out. You were just more like you just needed time to digest the opportunity.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what helped was like, so I'm dating this franchise. I looked into this franchise. They required this X, Y, and Z. They require X, Y, and Z. This one hasn't called me back, so I'm like, no, don't do that one. Yeah. So with all the information up front, it was scary, but it did make me feel better that he did his research. But I needed time to think about it. Yeah.
And I'll say, I'll even add in, a big thing that sold us on Fit Body were the values. The values aligned, which I think is really, really important when you're making such a big decision to, any employer that you're going to work with, like you should align in values. And that was a big thing for us was the values of Fit Body and how they, it was like, we're going to give back, we're going to make our community better. And that's ultimately what was driving the change, is that we envisioned helping our community. We had a couple of our softball moms in mind when we said, we want to create a place for them to come work out where we can teach them how to be healthy and how to be fit. They're sacrificing their lives for their kids and not exercising because they don't have the time to do it. How amazing would it be to create a place that they can go and they feel safe and they can learn and get healthier? And that's a big thing. We have a number of our softball moms that are in here that we've known for over 20 years that are healthy, that have lost weight, that are in the best shape of their life, and it's all because we decided to take a leap.
Heck yeah, and shoot, just working out this morning at the 8 a.m. session, I met 3 members that have been with you for half a decade, and that's just a testament to you and your passion and just your energy around the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so, James pitches the idea, the vision. What does that look like? James, you're clearly like spearheading the opportunity. Was the initial plan that you were just going to work in the business and Liz was going to continue working the consulting? And I'm curious, like, eventually, because now you both work in the business, how that came to be.
Yeah, so...
And by the way, before you hit that, just so our audience has some context, what year roughly is, this where you're exploring, having the conversation,
Yeah, 2007, we're having the conversation. We officially opened in 2017.
I was like, wait.
2018 is when we officially opened our location, but we're having this conversation in 2017.
Okay, cool.
And so, so I mean, we're, in researching the idea, I think the idea was that I was going to quit my job.
Yeah.
the way I thought about it is if I'm going to be in it part-time, it's going to grow part-time.
Yep.
And then then I'd have to hire people, and I wouldn't have a grasp on the business. We needed Liz to continue to work because, just as she had fear, I had fear. There was fear of failure. It's just, you just can't deny it. That's just the reality of starting a business. You can be all excited all you want, but in the back of your mind, you're always going to go, well, what if this doesn't work out? And back then I had tons of self-limiting beliefs that being part of Fit Body and being around the amazing team that we have at Fit Body, being around Bedros, who's, he's really changed my life for the better. You can't avoid the self-limiting beliefs until you can grow out of them and start to build the beliefs.
Yeah.
And so, I'm going to work, and Liz is going to, basically provide the foundation for our family, medical insurance, all that stuff, just in case. The vision was always to create a place that we could run together, to be the power couple.
So that was your long-term vision from the start.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
But you also took the practical and I would say like a responsible approach, and the fact of like, good on you for understanding the fact if you want to be successful and make a big impact, one of you needs to go all in, right? But then also too, working as a team, being like, hey, listen, starting a business, it's scary. There's a lot of unknowns. There's gonna be a learning curve for the first 12, 18, even 24 months. So attacking that right way is really
or
strong.
60 months. But yeah, but what I'll say is back then I was not a very good communicator. So I was a good planner in the sense of research. I was good at pitching an idea, but I struggled with communicating. So I didn't communicate that vision very well to Liz, which did cause some short-term issues in our marriage and our relationship as we were kind of transitioning from me being the sole operator of the business, and then transitioning and bringing her on more full-time, 3 years ago now? 2 years ago.
So in 2017, you had the conversation, you pitched this vision, you end up launching in 2018, and then somewhere around like 2022 is when then you started working in the business.
Correct.
Cool. And what were those, I guess, first early years like with you pioneering Rancho Cordova Fit Body, and then Liz, you supporting the family in the back end?
Yeah, I can say it from my side, and you can say it from your
Probably
side.
Probably a good idea to go back and forth.
It was hard. It was hard. You're working long hours, and you're trying to grow a business that, for us, we've never grown a business. I've never managed employees. I've never, I had this vision that I was just going to be this great boss, and like people are going to show up and just work really hard. And I found out that that's just not true. You do have, there are leadership skills that need to be developed. And so that was a big growing moment for me early on. And so it was a lot of long hours, waking up at 4:30 in the morning and getting home at 8 o'clock at night to turn around and do it again the next day. Because we had the limited resources, we didn't have the ability to bring people on. And so I was not home very often. And when I was home, I was asleep, knocked out. And Liz picked up a lot of the slack at home, and getting the kids, to where they needed to go. And taking care of household responsibilities. And so, I'll let her talk about that because I know it was a challenge for her as we've discussed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, dive in there and just kind of set the foundation from your perspective, and then we'd love to hear kind of what made the leap of faith for you to start working the business in 2022, roughly.
So it was very difficult. Again, like he said, he was never home. And it took a toll on me mentally, because it felt like, to be honest, it felt like the business was his wife now.
His priority.
Yeah, his wife, and I was the mistress. That's how I felt, and I've told him that before. And then we had at that time, I mean, I love my daughter to death. She was a teenager. Oh my gosh. So that took a toll too, because I needed a father figure in the house with me
Yeah.
for her. And I'm huge on that. And, we had Mason. He's so rambunctious, and it was a lot from working 8 to 5, picking up the kids, taking them where they needed to go, making dinner, and it felt lonely.
Yeah.
It felt really, really lonely. Again, because when he would come home, he would be asleep. Like his energy was not there. He wasn't present, and it took a toll on us. We butted heads a lot, and for the first time in our relationship, I really thought that he and I weren't going to work. It was not going to work. And I did remember this. We traveled down to Monterey to meet a Fit Body owner at that time. He did warn us. He said, one piece of advice that I will give you too is that your marriage will be tested. And that kept playing in my mind. And and I love this man so much, and I can't imagine my life without him. So I'm like, we got to make this work. We'll figure it out.
You guys are
I
awesome.
mean, yeah. And then fast forward to 2022.
Yeah, what changed?
What changed was I wanted to be part of it more. And plus, I wanted to work with him. I wanted to be around him. I wanted to be part of all this. And he started taking me to the trainings, the elite
Masterminds,
trainings.
elites.
Yeah,
Getting more indoctrination in the brand.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the conference. And I wasn't confident enough to be on the mat. So
At that point.
By
the way, I'm going to interject here. I walk in and Coach Liz is freaking bringing the fire.
She's fired.
Number one, I mean, it's awesome client experience. And then
Yeah,
number two, it
thank
just
you.
makes me so proud. It's like, this is our product. So I want to point that out because
Thank
there's this,
you.
like, people watching this right now also has a self-limiting belief. I can't coach. I can't get up and,
Yes.
speak and direct a room. Oh, you certainly can, because I've seen it in person. So if this is kind of what your thought was, and just friends, like it's the transformation has been incredible. So I wanted to lay that out there.
Oh,
Continue
thank
on.
you so much. That means
Yeah.
the world to me because I was scared. That's one thing that I was working on at that time because I was going through life coaching, and he went through the project, and there was a lot of insecurities within myself that I reached out for a life coach. So before I came on to the mat, I went through life coaching, built up my confidence, worked with my triggers and my issues, and then
Was it successful?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, very successful.
What's the power of coaching? This is what we do. We all need coaching. You
Yes.
need coaching. I need coaching. That's just human nature, and that's the value what we bring from a fitness and health and nutrition on the mats. But we also, coaches need coaches
for
as well.
sure, absolutely. And he actually talked me into getting certified through NASM. I'm like, I hate studying. I'm not a studier.
You and me both.
Yeah, I don't like taking tests.
Yeah.
And of course, those self-limiting beliefs factor in. I'm like, I'm not smart. I can't do this. I don't think I could pass. But sure enough, I didn't want to be on the mat until I was absolutely certified.
Yeah.
Got my certification, worked part-time. And then as time went by and I found myself, again, with the values with Fit Body Bootcamp, I aligned more with the values with Fit Body Bootcamp than what was going on in my corporate America job. I was helping project managers, and if I didn't provide the answer that they were looking for, their response would be, thanks for not helping me. I'm like, great. That's a great self-esteem booster.
Right.
You really filled up my cup. So, I asked him, hey, find a way for me to come on board. I'm done because I will get fired. I will make myself get fired.
And it was, I mean, the values, the fulfillment, the desire to work together towards a common mission. That's what I'm hearing was really like the big aha.
Yeah.
And then also too, I mean, probably the growing success of the camp, right? I mean,
Oh,
granted,
yeah.
you know, coming in the heels of just launching 2018, our brand had very different infrastructure. We've been able to build a lot more valuable infrastructure in the beginning. Then you had to go through COVID. So there was a lot of challenges that we're working with. But ultimately, at that point, you're going through your own journey and you realize, if I'm hearing this correctly, you know what? I love this guy. Like I want to, you know, build this particular vision with him. I have some self-limiting beliefs. I'm going to work through those. When I did, I'm going to get NASM certified, and really, we're going to go all in together.
Absolutely.
Love that. Well, it's inspiring. It's absolutely inspiring. All right, so kind of diving in, I think this is another point of topic of conversation. It's interesting because you both remind me so much of my wife and I, Tatiana. We have very different personality styles. Here at FitBody, we teach DISC. We partner with Take Flight Learning, so each of the 4 DISC qualities, characteristics, has a bird profile. I know you share some birds, but also have some opposite birds as well. Same with my wife. We actually have completely opposite birds. So we have the same values, but very different personalities and approach. And speaking for myself, that was actually challenging at the beginning. However, once I gained clarity in her zone of genius and my zone of genius, it actually became a superpower. So that's my perspective, but I want to hear yours. How did your ability to work together, happen to start, and then how has that evolved?
Yeah, so
about that.
Yeah, about that. In the beginning, it was extremely hard. I mean, we communicate differently, we do things differently, and I just, there were times that we sat back and we're like, can we do this together? Mm-hmm. And I would always say, like, she's the yin to my yang, like literal, like just like you said with you and Tatiana, like completely opposite sides of the spectrum. How we communicate's different, and so when we went through the DISC profile, that was an aha moment for both of us. I do remember sitting during a mastermind when Stephen Hadley was talking about the different birds and how they mix with one another, and he brought up the parrot and the owl. So I'm a parrot mainly, with a big dove as well, and she's an owl with a big eagle. Completely different sides of the spectrum. And they're like, yeah, don't mix these 2 birds. And I remember we just looked at each other and we just started laughing. At that point, we had grown enough to where we could take a step back and just kind of laugh at our differences.
Yeah.
In the beginning, those differences were not pretty.
Yeah.
And it led to a lot of butting of heads, as Liz alluded to earlier.
And probably also, too, from my perspective, and I would imagine the same as yours, just the lack of understanding versus when you go through DISC. And for those of you maybe haven't, or watching this or hearing this, maybe haven't went through DISC or the birds or the personality styles, it just, the fact of the matter is human nature, we have 4 major personality styles and they're all different, right? And it was a lack of understanding for me, but once I went through that understanding actually helped a lot. Would that be similar to you?
Oh, mind-blowing. Yeah. I mean, once we started understanding how we communicate and how the other person needs to be communicated with, that was, like you said, a superpower.
Yeah.
Because then we would take a step back and we go, okay, maybe I'm not approaching this correctly, or she needs more detail, right? I need more positivity, right? And so,
her search for detail, probably for you was more, that came off as like she's being negative and trying to poke holes in your vision. And it's like, no, that's just how she's wired. She wants to collect a little bit more of the facts. And once you have that understanding, you're like, oh, she does support me. She's on board. She just needs these particular
details.
Yeah, more details, more information. And then once she has that, then off we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the DISC was, we've shared this with you on multiple occasions on how it's really changed our relationship. It's really changed our life. That training through the mastermind group was, it changed everything for us as we started to work more together. I mean, now we spend, 40, 50, 60, well, actually all the time together almost.
Yeah.
And so that becomes even more important.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No, you didn't miss anything.
Love it. All right. Now we're going to take a 30,000-foot view. If you're looking at the business, you have the initial conversation in 2017, 2018, you end up launching Rancho Cordova. The first few years you are challenging, but then 21, 2022, realize, hey, we're going to join forces and go all in. And now here we are, 2024. You're incredibly strong owners in our brand. I'm just so proud. I mean, we were sharing this right before the camera went on. When I come in today, packed house, you have a beautiful, location, fire on the mats in terms of energy, and the community. You can just tell they like genuinely love you, love your team, and it's just awesome. So super proud of that. So when you look back 30,000-foot view, what would you say is like one of the top one or two highlights? And then also too, on the flip side, and maybe start with the challenges, what were a big one or two challenge when you look at this 30,000-foot view? Would love kind of that dichotomy. And ladies first.
Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta think about that one. The challenges is finding the right people within the culture for our team. That has been our biggest challenge. However, we've dialed it in where we're very picky now.
Selective, yeah.
Yeah, we're very selective.
And you can tell in a very good way.
Yeah.
Like your team, I love them. Like the energy, like I'm working out with Liz today and Aline as well. Eileen, forgive
Yeah.
me. And oh my God, just like great energy, just like super smiles. And that just makes the difference. So you've done a great job, not only, tapping into the resource of FitBody to identify, but also developing them as well. So to your credit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that. And we took the advice from masterminds, like your people, your brand is based on the team too, right? Because if your team is on point, then your members are that's what keeps them coming back.
Yes.
Success wise, I think it's us. It's us, it's our team. It's the milestones that we see on our board. It's the testaments that our members provide online to you,
What fulfills you? Like when I walk in here and I see you like lit up, like full of energy, like why is that the case? And I'm kind of leading the witness. I know you deeply, but I want the audience to have a good understanding of that.
Oh, we love our people. We love our people. That's what fires me up.
Yeah.
And it fires me up to see them, when we challenge them and they actually lift up the heavyweight. They're like, yes, I did it. I'm like, perfect examples, Amitha. Amitha is a great example.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's 79.
79.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And her older sister's 80, 81?
She's 84, 85.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
79-year-old, like full of energy, full of life, like working hard. Unbelievable, like inspires me so much, Another classic example, Steve, I met today from Scotland, and we talked, and thank you so much for modifying. I tore my hamstring last week at a paintballing event doing a team bonding, so I'm dealing with that challenge. I look over at Steve, he has a prosthetic leg. It's like, suck it up, Cupcake. It's like literally, this is what I'm thinking to myself, like, suck it up, work hard, like do your thing, Bryce.
Right.
And this is the community, this is the amount of the quality of the clients that you've been able to attract. So it just fires me up.
Yeah. We're very lucky. I mean, and obviously, as Liz spoke about, building the team, building the culture, building the right clientele. Those are the challenges. Just as much as we had challenges bringing on the right team members, sometimes it's bringing on the right clients as well.
Yeah.
That's something that I really struggled with, was finding the balance between keeping a client too long as opposed to keeping a team member too long. Sometimes the clients are not the right fit for the culture. They may not bring that positivity, and no matter how much you can pour into them, they just, for whatever reason, aren't willing to accept it. And I just had to come to terms with a few clients where I said, well, you know what, maybe this just isn't, we're not the right fit. And that's okay too.
That's okay. Yeah.
And we can have that candid conversation because there's something that we need from our clients just as much as, they need from us. But that leads to the culture, and that allows people to be themselves. If we don't have the right people, whether it's on our team or in our fit family, then it could hold someone else back from becoming the person that they want to be or could be. And so that was, I think, running a business has plenty of challenges, right? We all know that.
Any business, whether it's a fit body or just, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, but I would always sit back and go, how are we going to build this culture? Like, how are we going to, you see some of the cultures in some of the most successful locations, and you're like, how do we build a culture like that? And it just kind of happens organically. It just happens over time, and with that investment that you're making into your people. And as Liz said, we just love them dearly. We just want them to be successful. We just want so much for them. And then when they reciprocate that same energy,
it's golden.
Yeah, then it's easy work after that.
And that's what you love. That's that sense of fulfillment, which I can literally sense.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, as we wind down this episode, I have a final kind of question for you. And I know someone's watching this or listening to this super inspired. Like, oh my God, James and Liz, you've done an incredible job. I want that. Like, I'm going through whatever I'm going through, successful according to outside perspective, but I'm not fulfilled. I know I want something more. I have a passion for fitness. I have a passion for helping people. I want to launch a fitness business. I want to potentially launch a fit body, but for whatever reason, there's something in a little voice, that inner critic in the back of their voice. And James, and you also, Liz, think to yourself, kind of talk to your younger version of self when you're, going through that corporate America and you're successful, but you're not fulfilled. What do you say to that person? What do you say to your younger version of yourself? So James, why don't you start?
Well, I think ultimately it comes down to the fact that we only have one shot at this life. Mm-hmm. We only get one opportunity, and the fear of failure can really hold us back. But the fear of regret is so much bigger.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to reach a point in my life where I go, maybe I could have, maybe I should have tried, right? And so the fear doesn't go away. It's just not. Every single day you have fear, but that fear can also motivate you to push harder and to become the best version of you that you can be. Totally. If you don't have that fear, if you're feeling comfortable, that's what you should be afraid of.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, if you're sitting there going like, it's all right. I'm not really pushed. Like, I can kind of sit back.
That's no life.
That is not a life.
Yeah.
And every single day that we wake up and, we have just a little bit of that fear in, I wonder what else I can do. I wonder what else we're going to try. That's what keeps us going. And I, for us, Fit Body provided that for us. Mm-hmm. We can't say enough about Fit Body. Again, we've dated the other places. And it's not just opening a fitness business. It's the greatest personal development journey you could ever take.
Amen.
Because you have to grow. You have to keep getting better. But if you're up to the challenge, man, this is the place for you.
To acknowledge that yesterday, and this is like a story for our audience before we went on Fox, and I'm so grateful you said it. Literally, we sit down, we're with the host, and the recording is about to go live, right? Streaming live, and you're like, Bryce, does this ever get easy? And I turn to you, I'm like, absolutely not, I still feel nervous, I still feel excited, but I still feel fearful and terrified, but that's where growth is. And the fact that you said it to me, it was just like kindred spirits, because like I thought to myself, like, we continue to be on the same team, and we're attacking this journey together, and kindred spirit. So I want to acknowledge you for that and just reinforce what you just said in terms of your answer.
Thank you.
So Liz, why don't you finish it off from your perspective, my dear friend?
I mean, piggyback off of what James said. Actually, I wrote an email to the team about this week. We all have an expiration date, right? We're here for a period of time. We just don't know when our expiration date is up. Mm-hmm. So why not? You only live once, and fear is good. Fear is good, regret is horrible. It's a
Yeah.
horrible feeling.
Horrible.
So push those fears aside. Time to get uncomfortable. It's the best thing ever to do it. I mean, it's, again, like what you said, it's the best personal growth that you could possibly have. And Fit Body Boot Camp does a phenomenal job of providing those tools for you too. So burn the boats, baby.
Burn the boats. Burn the boats. Well, my friends, I mean, this was awesome. Before we shoot for today, I want to thank you for being on the show, for inspiring other people, but way more than that, I just want to thank you for being the people that you are. I'm here for a reason. It's really cool that we were able to spend some time last year promoting our Fit Body Food Battle, now promoting our Fit Body Freedom Week, and it's very intentional that I'm here in Rancho Cordova with you both. You're incredible people, first and foremost. You fill my cup. I consider you both, very close friends, and the impact that you've made in Rancho Cordova, your particular community, your team, your clients, and just our brand is absolutely phenomenal. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being you, and so excited to continue to rep the Fit Body flag together on the mission to inspire fitness and change lives.
Thank you for
Thank
inspiring
you.
us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you so much.
Yes, we do. We love you.
Likewise. Feelings mutual, my
Love
friends.
you, brother.
Well, friends, I know you got a ton of value from the episode. My only request is share this with someone that you think could be provided value, and also give it a like that we can keep producing this content for you for free. So thanks so much again, Liz and James. You guys are the best, and we'll see you in the next episode.